Well, we haven't done a video on foundations in a long time. So we're going to be practicing a little bit of foundations for the benefit of some students who really need a lot of help, not just learning the name letters, but also the sounds and writing. Okay? So the purpose of this video is to give you extra support at home with your photocopy of this Skywrite board and be able to practice what you need to do to make it very successful in kindergarten. So the magnetic letter boards that we have in the class are the old ones, which are blue, but I have this one in yellow, which happens to be the new one. When you open it, the magnetic letter boards don't have a frame anymore. The frame is already stuck on the board. You see that? And we also have this bottom, which is very awesome. But I'm going to fold it like this because this has the letters that we so far have been exposed during Foundations. So we all have these letters. We have these three. And then we have these right here, and then the last two on the bottom. So I'm not going to go over taking them off the magnetic letterboard because it's something that we do in the class. But I am going to go over the name of the letter and the sound because I need you to remember the name of the letters, those of you who don't know. Those of you who are flying, we're going to do something different, okay? So here we go. So this letter, even though you don't know that this is A, this is an actual A in the program. So this is the letter A. Okay. This is letter B. This is letter C, D, E, F. This one here that nobody knows what it is the letter G, I, J, and I skipped it because we haven't introduced those letters yet. M, N, O, P, R, S, T, and U. These are the letters that we know so far. And the pink ones are vowels, which is A, E, I, O, and U. And the other ones in yellow are the consonants. T, M, G, B, N, P, J, D, C, F, R, and S. Okay? Now we're going to go over the sounds because when you are learning Foundations, one of the things that you need to learn is the sound of each letter because that's how you're going to form the words. Ready? A, B, K, D, E, F, G, I, J, A, P, S, T, All right, so those are the letter sounds. Now that we went over the letter names and the sounds, now we're going to go ahead with those of you who are ready to make CVC words. So CVC words means consonant, vowel, consonant. So first it's going to be yellow, then it's going to be pink in the middle, and then there's going to be another yellow at the end. So today we did, in our class, our family words with at. But on the magnetic board, we did et. So now I'm going to do on the video another one, which is I. I'm going to use the vowel I. And I'm going to use the same one, t, t. And this is going to be the it family words. So, it is a pronoun. But when we're making words, we're going to consider it as a family word, and we're going to only change the first sound, first letter. Okay? So this is the second and this is the last. Now, what you need to know is that some of these consonants will make a word or a nonsense word. And it's very important for you to distinguish one from the other when you're creating words, because nonsense words will tell you, that doesn't make sense. We don't even know what it means. And others will say, hey, that is a real word. That is a correct way of spelling it. Okay? So here we go. We have it, and now I'm going to add in front a consonant. So let's start with s, it, it, sit. Sit is a word. It's a verb that's always indicating where you are actually making an action of sitting on the bed, sitting on the sofa, or I can sit on a chair. Okay? Now we're going to switch that S to this one. Writ. Do you think writ is a word, or is it a nonsense word? To me, it is a nonsense word. What does writ mean? It's the beginning of a word that we're spelling, but it's not complete. But itself as a CVC word, not correct. It's not a word. It's a nonsense word. Now let's take the letter of this week, which is P. And now we have this one. If you know how to read it, read it. If you don't, sound it out and then blend. P, it, pit. Again, P, it, pit. Pit is a word because pit is that middle seed in a fruit, such as the plum and the peach. A peach has one seed. A plum has one seed. That is considered the pit. Pit. So now I'm going to put the P back. Now I'm going to put the in the middle of my word. At the beginning of my word. And this one, it, knit. Does knit have some kind of meaning? No. So it's a nonsense word. Got it? Now let's go to this M. Now, I'm going to explain something. This it, mit. This word mit is a nonsense word. Now, if you're thinking of that little object that you put in your hand to catch the ball, that is a mitt. But that mitt has two T's at the end. Not one T. It has two T's. Now, sound-wise, it is perfect for it, mit. But when it comes to spelling it, you're missing a T. Okay? So, let's continue with this one. How would you say this word, sounding it out? It, jit. What is a jit? Is it a word or is it a nonsense word? Or did you say it, git? Well, when the j in G has an I after it, it doesn't say git. It says jit. Like giraffe. Giraffe has a G-I-R. This one has a G-I-T. So jit is not a word. It's a nonsense word. Let's go to the other letter of this week. Jit. This one, hey, doesn't that sound like these two? Yes, they do. This one is called jit. Jit. It's also a nonsense word, just in case. Now I'm going to go with sound it out and blend. It, fit. You tell me, is fit a word or a nonsense word? What? It is a word. Fit. I fit in my clothes. My clothes fit me. My shoes fit. Meaning it's the foot is not tight, it's comfortable. So fit is a verb. And this is a word. Not a nonsense word, it's a word. So now that we did that, let's go to this one. What does it say? Sound it out and blend. D, it, dit. What do you think? Is dit a word? No. It's a nonsense word. Now let's go with k. But guess what? When this letter C has next to it right after an I, ich, it, this I makes this letter change from a hard C like k, and it changes it to a s, which is a soft C. So instead of saying kit, which is the wrong way of pronouncing it, it's called sit. Can you say sit? Not the verb sit, that's different. Sit. Is sit a word? No, it is not. It's a nonsense word. Now I'm down to my last consonant. What do you think? What do you think about this one? Sound it out and blend. B, it, bit. Again, b, it, bit. What do you think? Is it a word or a nonsense word? It is a word. It is a verb. Bit is the action of doing this. Did you see what I just did? He bit me. In the past tense, he put his teeth on my skin. That's a no-no if you do that. Okay? So, bit is a word. Now, maybe some of you would try to put a vowel, but I would not put a vowel here. The sound is not going to be the same, and it's going to completely change the word. So, our lesson today was not only to say the letter names or the sounds, it was also to do what is called word work. And word work, we're using it to form words that help us to read. Very soon, you're going to be doing digraphs and probably other types of sounds that you need to be familiar to make a better self-reader. Now, we're going to go into the other part, which is the skywrite. And I took the skywrite a little bit of time because I wanted the lesson for the magnetic letterboard to be interesting for everybody, not just for those who are learning their letters and sounds, but also for those who know how to make words. Now, be advised that if you don't have any magnets, you can get them at the 99-cent store. You can get them at Dollar Tree. Or if you want to invest, parents, start thinking about Christmas gifts. You can go on one of my videos from last year where I introduced the magnetic letters that you can use in English and in Spanish. And it has its own magnetic board, and it also can be used as a dry erase board. So, one of the parents told me when I spoke to them recently that they loved that idea and they invested in it. That is what we want you to do, not just on these videos, but in education. Try to make sure that your children have what they need in order to learn. And that means investment, something that will last for a long time. All right, so we're going to go over the letters that we did not practice in one of the videos from last year because I probably forgot or I was too busy and I couldn't do it. So here we go. We're going to do D, dog, D. You start on the sky, come down to the grass. Pick your marker up and go to the plane line and make a bump from the plane to the grass. Again, you start on the sky, come down to the grass. Pick your marker up and go on the plane line and write it all the way down to the grass. That's D, dog, D. Again. Now, I'm going to change this. Because the letter that was always with the letter D for D, dog, D was S, snakes. Did you see how I made that S and made the sound? This is the letter S. And I'm making the sound when I say S. So, it's like a snake and it starts on the plane line and it comes down to the grass. Okay? The following letters were the last vowel and consonant that we introduced after the test, because the test was up to D and S. But I also forgot to do A and G. So before I go to those letters, I'm going to do A and G first. So A, lowercase a, starts on the plane line, goes around, touches the grass, and comes back up to the plane line. And then you have to make that little tail to make sure it looks like an A, because otherwise it looks like an O. Right? Again, you start on the plane line, come down to the grass, go up to the plane line, and then make a straight line to make the tail. Again, the same way. And remember, practice makes it what? Perfect. So practice on your board at home. You have a copy. You have a dry erase marker. And remember, if you don't know how to grab your marker, you pinch and lay. Ready? Pinch and lay. So let's continue with the partner of letter A, and that was G. So I'm going to do the letter G as a O, and then come down to the worm line. Did you see that? Again, start on the plane line, go around the grass, come back up. Now I'm going to make a hook down to the worm line. This is the worm line. Again, you start on the plane line, come down to the grass, go up. That's the letter O, but now you're going to make a hook. And now you touch the worm line. That's G, gang, G. Some of you need to practice that one. Some people forget how to write it. It's okay. You're learning. Now we're going to go with the letters that we did after we did the mid-unit check assessment. So this one is the last vowel that you learned. So I always try to remind that the letter lowercase e, you make a little dot, because that's going to indicate where you're going to start your letter E. So the first thing you do is you make a line. Now you go back up and come around. Oops, that one didn't close the way I want it. So I'm going to do it again. Watch. Make a line, come back up, and close. Let me see if I can do it much better. Yes. And that's E, ed, e. Remember, practice, practice. I sometimes make mistakes as well as you. But when you practice, it gets better. That was E, ed, e. Now we're going to do R, rat, R starts on the plane line, comes down to the grass, goes up in a curve. That's lowercase r. From the plane line down to the grass, go up in a curve. See? Start on the plane line, come down to the grass, go up in a curve. And that's R, rat, Now, We did R rat er. Now, let me see. Did we do... Yeah, so the next ones are this week's letters. And that is two that touch the worm line. First is P. So P starts on the plane line, comes down to the worm line. You see that? Pick your marker up and go to the plane line and make it to the grass. That's P, pan, P. Now we do it again. You start on the plane line, come down to the worm line. Now go up, make a curve right here from the plane line to the grass line. That's P, pan, P. Next one. Start on the plane line, come down to the worm line. Pick your marker up and make a bump from the plane to the grass. Now we're going to do his partner. His partner letter this week is G, gang, G. J, jug, J. Sorry. J, jug, J. And so J also starts on the plane line and makes a hook like this to the worm line. You gotta make a sprinkle here because this is lowercase j. Again, start on the plane line, come down like a hook to the worm line, and then make a sprinkle right on top. We're not making lollipops, we're just making a sprinkle. Got it? Here we go again. You start on the plane line, come down to the worm line as a hook, and then make a sprinkle. And this is J, jug, J. J, jug, J. So, this is what you need to practice. Now, as we move on, and we will move on very quickly, we will practice other letters, but also we would like to remind you that we will be also writing CBC words on our Skywrite board. Because you have to remember that smart is not something you are. Smart is something you get.